What's up guys, TopTierYugioh here, and today we're going to be talking about link monsters once again, and we're going to be looking at some of the new sets where we're going to be getting these link monsters. And so they've already announced some of the cards from the structure deck, as well as the next set after Maximum Crisis, which is called Code of the Duelist. So we're going to look at some of those cards, and maybe see where this new link summoning mechanic can take us. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's look at some of the structure deck cards first, as I think we'll be getting that first. And so the first card is the one that we all know about. It's called Decode Talker, and it's a dark Cyverse-Type link effect monster. And so Cyberse is a new type, just like Psychic Sword, just like Worms, where it's like any other type in the game, like Warrior, Spellcaster, and now we just have Cyberse too. And I think it's sort of interesting that we have a new Cyberse type because the game is taking place in virtual reality. That's where we're going to be dueling in the anime, and it has 2300 attack, and it is a link 3. And so the links go up, bottom left, and bottom right. And so those bottom left and bottom right arrows are pointing to 2 of your main monster zones, so it's going to give you 2 more zones to summon extra deck monsters in, but the up arrow points to your opponent's monster zone, so they will also get an extra monster zone to summon their monsters in. So when you use Decode Talker, you're going to now have 2 spots to summon extra deck monsters, and your opponent will have 2 spots. They're going to have their natural extra monster zone, and then the one that Decode Talker points to. However, that zone, even though on their side of the field, is still linked to your Decode Talker, as well as the 2 other zones that Decode Talker points to. And so let's look at Decode Talker's materials and effects. And so it just requires 2 or more effect monsters. And again, is link 3, so you could send a link 2 and another 1 monster, or you could just send 3 monsters to the graveyard. All have to be effect monsters though. And it has 2 effects. The first effect is that it gains 500 attack for each monster linked to it. And so it has 3 links, so at most it can gain 1500 attack, which will put it at 3800, which is massive. And now the secondary effect is that when an opponent's card effect that targets a card that you control is activated, you contribute 1 of your monsters linked to this card to negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. And so this is actually a very interesting effect because at best, I'm thinking in the best possible situation, we have a 3800 beater that can negate effects that target it. That's pretty insane. That's pretty good actually. Now the caveat is that you do have to attribute your monsters that are linked to this card, so you can't attribute your opponent's monsters linked to this card. But at best, it just seems like a very strong card, and one that I think will be staple when it first comes out. Similar to how Levier Dragon was staple, Stardust Dragon was staple, like these first couple ones are generally pretty good. And this is just apparent from the power level of the effect. 3800 at best, and it will also negate targeting. And it doesn't just have to target cards in your linked zones, it just targets any card that you control. So I think that's actually really powerful. Next we have Link Slayer. It's a level 5 Earth Cyverse-Type effect monster. And we don't know the attack and defense yet. There's like some Japanese characters over the attack and defense stats, so if anybody can read Japanese, I'd be interested to know what that actually says, but I can't find a translation for it. But we can see the effects, and so the first effect is that if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's already very good. It gives you a very easy monster for you to tribute for a link monster, so that's very, very good. And the second effect is that once per turn, you can discard up to 2 cards, then target that many spell or trap cards on the field, and then destroy them. And the discarding effect is a cost. And so, nonetheless, I think that's actually extremely powerful. Like, you can just special summon this monster, then discard 2 monsters, hit 2 back row, then continue your plays. And although, it's a cost, and so it's going to be really vulnerable to any sort of effect negation, and very susceptible to effect negation because you're discarding 2 cards after it's been summoned, and so it really won't leave you with much left. If it resolves, I mean, it's pretty easy to resolve too. That's going to be a very powerful effect. And so again, I can see this being sort of a staple in certain decks, or maybe not a staple in all decks that use the link monsters, but in a certain few, maybe like a Earth deck or a Cyberse type deck, I can see this being very, very powerful. Just being able to hit back row and just being a free summon in and of itself is going to be very useful for link monsters. Next we have Draconet. This is a level 3 dark Cyberse type effect monster. Again, we can't see the attack and defense, but we can see the effect. And when it's normal summoned, we can special summon 1 level 2 or lower normal monster from our hand or deck at defense position. And so the value in this card I see is that you normal summon it once and it gives you a secondary monster. And so this 1 card will give you 2 monsters to send to the graveyard to summon a link 2, or you could summon like a link 1 and still have another monster on board. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we can do with this card, but 1 card that just special summons in the deck is just generally good. And it's nice to see some normal monster support too, I guess. It seems protagonists in this game just love normal monsters. So now let's look at a new link monster that we have. And so this is called Link Spider. It's an Earth Cyberse type link effect monster. It has 1000 attack and is link 1. The link is pointing down, and the material is just 1 normal monster. And the effect is that once per turn, you special summon one. You can't see the level. I guess the picture isn't clear enough to tell the level, but you're going to special summon one normal monster to one of this card's linked zones. And I'm assuming it's going to be like a lower level monster. I'm sure it's not going to be like any normal monster because it says a level blank or lower. And so I'm assuming it might be level 4 or lower. That's a very common clause in this game. Level 4 or lower, maybe level 2 or lower, because the other monster special summons a level 2 or lower. And so it'll be interesting to see what Link Spider does when we get the full effect. But right now I think it's very interesting that it is a Link 1. So it requires one monster. So you summon one monster, you send it to the graveyard, and you get this special summons another monster. And so essentially you're getting a +1 off that whole exchange. You're starting with the one monster, the one original normal monster, and you're ending with Spider, and then whatever you summon with Spider. If you combine this with Draconet, you normal summon Draconet, and Draconet is level 3, and then you can special summon the normal monster from your deck that's level 2 or lower. Then you send that normal monster to the graveyard to summon the Link Spider, and then Link Spider will be able to special summon you another unknown level normal monster from your deck. But if you summon another level 3, that's going to allow you to go into a rank 3 in that zone that's right under Link Spider. And so that's an easy 1-card rank 3 with Draconet. Or it's going to be interesting to see if you can summon any tuners. You might be able to go for a synchro summon. And so I think Link Spider is actually going to be a very good card for normal decks. So next we have Ramclow. Like RAM is all capitalized, sort of like the memory in computers. So I think that's actually pretty interesting. It is a level 4 light Cyverse-Type effect monster with 1800 attack, 1000 defense. And the effect is that, so you can only use one Ramclow's effect once per turn. So it's a hard once per turn, and you tribute one monster, then target one Cyberse monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Whoa, that's actually pretty good. It doesn't have any restrictions. You just tribute one monster, not even itself, and special summon any Cyberse-Type from your graveyard, including other Link monsters. And so you could actually bring back another Link monster that's pointing in different directions, and then use those different main monster zones as extra deck monster zones. So you can link to those zones with this card. So this is actually a very good recovery play for Cyberse decks. It's sort of weird for me just to say like a Cyberse deck. I'm just not used to that yet, but that's actually a very good play. And already off the back, I can see that we have some very good Link monsters and very good cards that take advantage of this new Link mechanic. So again, Ramclow I think will be a pretty good recovery play. So next we have another Link monster. This one is called Honeybot, and it looks like a little honeycomb thing, like a honey robot. I guess that's the joke. But it is a light Cyberse-Type Link effect monster with 1900 attack. It is a Link 2 that links left and right. The materials are two Cyberse monsters, two Cyber-Type monsters. And the effect is that monsters that are linked to this card cannot be targeted by effects or destroyed by battle. So that is also actually very, very good. And then finally we have Bitron, which is a level 2 Earth Cyberse-Type normal monster with 200 attack, 2000 defense. And this is pretty much the the shine ball of the deck. Like if you ever played Agents, they had the Venus Agent that could summon all the normal monsters from your deck, and they were called shine balls, but they didn't do anything. You just overlaid with them. And I'm assuming it's going to be sort of the same type of deck with this, to where you have your Bitrons, which don't really do anything, but you've got 2000 defense, you just special summon them from your deck and overlay and synchro and use them for link summons. Like you just do shenanigans using these Bitrons to do other things. And so let's just try to put everything together really quick. And so, again, we have Link Slayer. We can just special summon Link Slayer. That's one monster. And then we can hit back row with it. Or we can also send it to the graveyard to link summon something, like a Link 1. Next card we have was Draconet. Draconet was, I'm going to compare it to like a tour guide. Because you normal summon it, you special summon something from your deck. So you summon Draconet, and you can summon your Bitron. Then you would send Bitron to the graveyard to summon your Link Spider. And then, because Link Spider gives you another extra monster zone, you could summon like a level 3 normal monster if they have one, or if that's even allowed, and you could go into like a rank 3. You could summon a normal monster tuner and go into a synchro, and you would use your extra monster zone for that, or your linked monster zone. I'm not sure the nomenclature for this yet. Are we going to call this an extra monster zone, or maybe a linked monster zone? I think linked monster zone is probably the correct term. So I'm going to just say that from now on. So that's a cute little combo that you could do to pretty much have a 1-card rank 3 or a 1-card synchro using your Draconet. And then next we have the Ramclow. And so Ramclow, because it special summons back a Cyberse-Type, you could bring back, say, your Link Spider, but that's not going to do anything because the arrow points down. So if you summon it to your main monster zone, pointing down will be pointing to your spell and trap card zone, and you can't summon monsters to your spell and trap card zone. So it'd be useless to summon that back. But what you could summon back is your, you could summon back Link Slayer and then hit more back row. You could even summon back Decode Talker, because it's going to at least, have a lot of attack. The arrow is pointing diagonally down and left and up, and so that also doesn't do anything. I guess the best thing to bring back will probably be the Honeybot, because that points left and right. And so that means you can use those spots as linked monster zones. And so Ramclow is going to be a little bit tricky to use, but I do see it being a very good recovery play. Then we have Honeybot, which makes monsters that are linked to it unaffected by targeting effects, or they can't be targeted, and they also can't be destroyed by battle. So it gives you a little bit of protection. And we have the Bitron, which is the token level 2 normal monster that helps you do all of your shenanigans within this structure deck. And so I think we have a really good idea of how these link monsters are going to be used right now. And I think we have a very good starting core right now. Like, you have Decode Talker, which is your big beat stick, and it stops targeting. You got Honeybot to give you even more protection. You got Draconet, which can just make plays easy. Link Slayer hits back row to clear the way for your plays, as well as being able to be tributed for link monsters, for link summons itself. And so we've got a lot of really cool pieces right here. A lot of really cool pieces. And again, I think this new link mechanic is very interesting. It's going to be cool to see where what we can do with this, and also some of the rest of the cards within the structure deck. But as you guys can see, like, we have a lot of plays just with these cards by themselves. And so this is going to be exciting. And so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions about the link summoning mechanic, the new rules, or even just Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns in general, just let me know down in the comment section below. I'm going to try my best to answer as soon as possible. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.